Hi, I would like to talk about a subject today which also I wrote a letter about in the letters from Love Cafe section named One Life, One Moment. This is rather an interesting subject, and I think there are certain interesting and good insights in this subject. Think of your life to begin with. Think of your life as a whole. Take your life into your hands. Say, for instance, this is the distance of your life, the beginning and the end. It can be 70, 80, 90 years. I hope you will live a long and healthy life, but at the end, there is a day we were born, and there will certainly be a day we will leave this world. So, there is a time distance in which a space in which we will be living on this beautiful earth. That distance is a relative thing. 70, 80, 90 years. In the sense let's look at it from another point, which is before the day you were born, there was no yesterday. Right? Let's say you were born on a certain day, 19th of July, my birthday. Before that, 19th of July 1974 is the day I was born. One day before I didn't exist. Right? So, there was no yesterday for me. And go into the future. Hopefully I will also live a long and healthy life, but there will be a day when I'll pass away. I'll die. On the last day I die, let's say X day, I don't want to say a certain day, therefore I stick to X day. The next day to that X day doesn't exist for me. There is no future. So, if I take my life as a whole into my hands, right? This is the distance. The distance can be 80, 90, 70 years. Because as I said, it's a relative thing. Look at it as one whole thing. Because if you go to the point of infinity and stand there and look at this distance, it's basically 70 years is no different from 7 days. If you look from the point of infinity. Right? Because for an ant, for instance, they live a few days perhaps, I'm not sure, but they don't live long. But for them, that looks, let's say if their average lifetime, I don't know, I'm just saying, I'm just guessing, is 7 days, and if one ant lives 8 days, they say it's a long life. Right? But for us, it's 1 day difference. So therefore, time is a relative thing. It depends on where you look. And if you look from the infinity point of view, then this life we have, 70, 80, 90 years, it looks like one whole moment. Right? It's a one thing. The distance is not important anymore. 7 days, 7 minutes, 7 seconds, because you are looking from the infinity point of view. Right? So this is important. So, I take my life, into my hands, and 1 day before I was born doesn't exist, and also 1 day after I die doesn't exist, which means my life, this whole, as a whole, take it as a whole, doesn't have any past or future. You see, this is very interesting. My life, 70 years, 80 years, Let's make it 90 years for me, as I love living. And so, healthy of course. 90 years of life I take. There is no past. If you take this 90 years as one whole thing, one single whole thing. For this single whole thing, 90 years of time distance, neither the past nor the future doesn't exist. Right? No yesterday, no tomorrow. Before the beginning of this thing is the day I born, and the last day is the day I die, and there is no future for me anymore, no future and no past. You see this? So this is important. Which means, as a whole, my life doesn't have any future or any past. It is my life, that's it. The existence of me. So, if you see this concept of no future and no past, can we narrow this down? One life concept. Let's say we will go for a holiday, a week holiday. Can we narrow down this one life concept into 1 week concept? Which means, as we said, if you look from the infinite point of view, we said 90 years is no different from 7 days, 1 week. Because if you go that far to the infinity, all distances get so close to each other. Right? This is mathematics. Now, 7 days as one life, in the sense, no next day at the end of the 8th day doesn't exist. Or in the first day of my 1 week holiday, the previous day doesn't exist. Only 1 week exists. You see, we narrow down the one life concept to 1 week now. And live in this 1 week. With no 8th day or the 0 day before coming from the first day. Right? Live in this 1 week. Then, if we can, then we will live that 1 week fully. Be totally present. Because 8th day doesn't exist for us. You see? 8th day implies my business, my work, my wife, anything. All the problems of life. Can I take this 7th day and live it this way? Then of course, we live in the world, 8th day in reality is there. But can I live this way? And when the 8th day comes, okay, come back to life. Whatever, the problems, all those things we will deal. But take this 1 week holiday, can you live this way? Now, I am coming back, I'm coming down to narrowing it down to 1 single day. From 1 life, we came down to 1 week, and we will go down to 1 single day. Again, 1 single day can be taken as 1 life from the infinity point of view. No tomorrow, no yesterday. You see, narrowing this down from 1 life to 1 week, 1 day, and the ultimate is a moment. That 1 moment is immeasurable. 1 day is a measurable distance. 1 week is a measurable distance. 1 life is a measurable distance. But that 1 single moment, the present moment, is not measurable in terms of this measurement device of 1 day, 2 days, 3 days. It cannot be. And that's the secret of life. That moment, present moment, is immeasurable. Narrowing it down this way, you can narrow it down infinitely, basically. That's the beauty of it. There is no end. The more you narrow it down to the moment, to this moment, there is always the more, there is always going deeper into this present moment. You never can say, okay, I arrived. In the sense, I totally live here in this present moment. Then it gets boring, it's finished. There is no end. But that's the beauty. That is what makes living interesting, because there is always more discovery in terms of going deeper and deeper and deeper into this present moment. It's like all your life you have been living in the land, which means being asleep spiritual lives. All of a sudden you discover the sea, which means entering into the spiritual life, the ocean. You jump into the sea, it's nice, beautiful, you go, proceed. You are close to the shore when you begin to live the 1 week concept. You are getting away from the shore into the deeper parts of ocean when you get to the 1 day concept. And then you are going deeper and deeper into the moment concept. Basically, you see in the moment concept, you can't even see the land anymore. But that's the beauty of life. You see, it's so important to understand this. Now, we narrow it down to the moment. We were in the day. Let's stick to the day a little bit, because moment is a little bit more deep. Let's stop at the day concept. One single day. There has been quite wise sayings about live the day as it is your last. Right? This is exactly the same thing that I am trying to explain now. 1 week, 1 day, 1 moment, 1 life. From the infinite point of view, these are all the same, which means live timelessly. Live like there is no future, no tomorrow. For the day, for living in the day concept, no tomorrow and no yesterday. For living in the week concept, no next week and no past week. For living a life concept, no next life or no past life. Finished. For living in the moment concept, no next moment or no past moment. So, based on our level of understanding, how far we are away from the shore in the deep ocean, we can apply any of these concepts in our lives. It can be a month, a week, a day, a moment. The higher we get into this spiritual understanding, which means we are getting away from the shore more and more, then we are getting close to living in the moment more and more. Right? We can start with a month or with a week, then come to the day. Right? So let's find something average and get deeper in that to have a better understanding. And the average for people who are interested in spirituality can be a day concept. Let's stick to the day, because if we understand the day concept, 1 day, living as it is your last day, as it is your only day. If we understand this, then that means we are already good in this swimming thing. Right? We discovered the ocean, which is the spiritual life. If we understand the 1 day concept, living as it is our last day, that means we are quite good now in swimming. We learn quite good. And we can go deeper and deeper into the 1 moment concept. And when we come to 1 moment concept, we will see 1 moment is 1 life, basically. 1 life is 1 moment. In the timelessness, in the immeasurable quality of the moment is included all one's life. That is the last step, the ultimate. Now, 1 day. Move away from theoretical way of living. In order to move away from theoretical way of living. I'm taking today. Now, this day, this actual day, is, I think, 29th of 30th of December, I guess today. 30th of December 2013. I'm taking this day. In one's life, you might be very busy. Let's be rational and realistic, right? If you have busy life and all those kind of stuff, stress, you might not be able to do this every day. So what I suggest is choose a day. If you can, this coming Sunday, for instance, next Sunday, when you have a holiday, one day, choose a day. Because if I tell you to do it any day, it might not be possible. But once you start with a certain day and practice in the sense, understand, then any day you can apply it to any day. Then the ultimate is any moment. But to start with, be really realistic. Choose one day when you don't need to work, you don't need to rush and those kind of stuff. Let's choose that day, X day. Take this X day for you. This is a good meditation, you see. Do it once a month at the beginning if you can. Take that one day. Choose, find a day. Once a month at the beginning. Because if you do it once in your lifetime, if you can really do it, if you can really understand what is implied, then it's like your mind opened a new door. It cannot be closed anymore. It is not your choice anymore. You can't say, I want to live this way or that way. When the mind sees that thing, opens this door, it is a door which can never be closed. You might come back temporarily, go back, but once this thing is open, it will get stronger and stronger. So, choose a day, start with this, simple, for this kind of living like your only day or last day meditation. Right? Find the X day. You found the X day. Now, take this X day. Let's say a Sunday, a holiday. Start the day. How will you start this day? You will start this day like your one life concept. One life, 90 years of distance, 80 years of distance. Look from the infinite point of view, narrow it down to one day. Which means like you are here only for a day. Because if you really narrow it down, your one life to one day, that means today is your birthday and death day. You see? Which means basically, yesterday doesn't exist. You're born today. And you'll die today. One single day. Tomorrow doesn't exist either. One life. No yesterday before the day I was born, and no tomorrow after the day I die. One life. No future, no past. One day. No past, no future. This should be the quality of that one day meditation you will have. This is very important. One day. You live for this day. One day. Which means from the morning of that day, start with a quiet meditation. Just sit down. No past. Which means What does it mean to have no past? It means to die to all memory, psychological memory. Because in that certain day you need the technical memory to function. In order to go to your kitchen to have your breakfast in the morning, you need to remember how to go to the kitchen and how to cook and those kind of stuff. So you cannot die to the technical memory of the past. Technical memory will be there. That in that sense, you need to have past. But psychological memory, this is important. Any kind of memory which is related with the psychology of your mind. How can you differentiate these two? Look very carefully. For me, any memory that is related with the I, with the ego, is psychological memory, to make it very simple. Any memory which is not related with the I is technical memory. To remember the way to go to kitchen and the way to cook has nothing to do with the ego, the persona. It's technical, computer-wise, computer kind of memory. But remembering my girlfriend yesterday, breaking my heart or flattering me, the very remembrance of that is psychological memory because it is related with the I, with the ego. To make it a little bit more clear, the difference between the psychological memory and the technical memory. If the I doesn't exist anymore, any kind of memory that can be used is technical memory. Like let's say you download the information in your brain, all information, all memory, and you're died. And let's say there is the technology to use that information. Your psychological memory, your girlfriend, how your hurts, your loves, your feelings, nothing can be used. It means nothing anymore. But the technical memory you have, the knowledge of chemistry, how to drive the car, how to invent things, how to cook, all those can be used. Independent from you. See, it's interesting. From the ego. It has nothing to do with the ego. But all the other information recorded in the brain means nothing without the you, the me, the ego, the self, the persona. So this is the difference. So if you want to differentiate, if you want to understand which memory you should destroy to live in this one single day, and which memory should be kept there to function in daily life. This is the difference. You can differentiate in a simple way, like this. Right? If you can have a clear understanding, it's very easy. So in this one day meditation, rather interesting, this one day meditation, destroy the psychological past memory. Just what remains is the technical memory to function in that single day. Right? All psychological memory must be destroyed. Which means psychological past is destroyed. You see, when we say freedom from time in order to live in the present moment, that's the only way. No past, no future. What we mean is distraction or freedom from the psychological time, psychological future and psychological past, not physical. Physical must be there. The physical memory of driving a car and the physical planning of tomorrow to meet, to have meetings for my business. This exists. There is no point to be free from chronological time in this sense. It is needed. Psychological time is the thing which the mind must be freed from. Okay? Psychological time means, as we explained, the memories related, centered with the I, the ego, the me, the memories around the me. How to cook, the knowledge, the memory, the recording in the brain of how to cook or how to drive a car is not centered in the area of the me. Is not related with the me. It's pure information, pure knowledge. So it doesn't have any center in the sense of the I, the ego. But all the rest, psychological things, are centered around the me, the ego, and that creates the psychological past and the psychological tomorrow, the future. And to live in the present moment implies freedom from this psychological time, not the physical chronological time. You see? Don't get confused. We need time. We need tomorrow and past in the technical sense. Chronological sense, not psychological. The future of the me, the ego, or the past of the me, the ego. That is what the mind should be freed from. The ego looking and saying, my tomorrow, I'll be happy. I'll get married. I'll be successful. The ego looking at the past and saying, my past is a disaster. It's beautiful. I had so much. It's painful. So the past of the ego and the future of the ego is the psychological time. And the mind, the ego, can survive only as long as that time exists. When once you see that time is an illusion, then the ego collapses. But still the brain, the mind lives with time. Chronological time is necessary, intelligent. But there is no psychological time anymore. The future and the past, in this sense, the ego projecting a future, a time concept centered around the I. A time concept of pure business appointment, arrangement of business appointment tomorrow is not centered around the I. It is a future, chronological future. But the moment I plan in that tomorrow's meeting, the I, the ego, planning how to be confident in the meeting, then the ego is projecting a psychological future. Do you see the difference? So it's very interesting. Where are we? Let's not get lost too much. Huh? This is interesting. So, if you understand this, if you understand the difference between the psychological future concept, psychological time and chronological time concept, then you see psychological time is it is not needed, it's an illusion, it's an area, the house of the ego basically. The blood of ego, psychological time. Without that, ego cannot exist. Right? Now, one day, come back to one day. Psychological past. Cut it off. So, this is a new day. I begin today. I'm born. Because I don't have any past. Psychologically. Right? It's a new, fresh time. The past has ended. Memory, psychological memory, in which the self, the ego, has centered itself, has ended. So there is the technical memory in the brain without a center. So I can speak. To use the words, I need the memory. But if I have no inward purpose of about this talk, now, then why do I need any ego at all? It's just, what I'm saying is, now, is basically the certain things, seeing certain things, and just talking, telling about these things. But there is no purpose, no motive to be successful in all those kind of stuff. Right? So, it's ended. Psychological past. When psychological past ends, psychological future ends also automatically. So one day, one single day, only today. As I said, for you, choose a certain day which there will be little pressure in your mind about the things you will do tomorrow or all those kind of stuff. So then you can apply this meditation better, easily. You started the day, take this one day, like the one life, right? We narrow it down to one day. Get your scissors and cut all your yesterdays. When you cut all your yesterdays, you don't need to do anything about the projected future. It's already gone. Because this past is creating the future. When the past, psychological past is not there, psychological future is automatically destroyed. Cut it. Everything. The wife, the husband, the children, for one single day. Business, jobs, hurts. Everything. All psychological memories. Everything. Wipe it out. Cut it. Right? What happens? There is only today. If you really can destroy that past for just one single day, to live this day, totally, then you are left with today. A single beautiful day to live with, no past. Can you imagine what that means? You will have such energy. You are like, it's like your marriage day. You're getting married with the day. Today, you are getting married with life today. You're getting married with the beloved today. You see? I really mean it. It is so important. When the past is destroyed, you are in love with life. Today, this moment, that is how love starts. Love of life. It's so beautiful today, then, because all the darkness of memory, psychological memory, which is fear. Fear is so destructive, incredible, makes things so dark. It's a beautiful day, but you can't enjoy because there is darkness in the mind. And that the root of that darkness is psychological past, the memory. Destroy it for today, one day meditation. Do it. Destroy, then come back to your darkness tomorrow. For one day, do it. If you fall in love with life one day, that will be extended to one life. Because love is timeless. If you can do it one time, that one time is one life. That one moment is immeasurable. If you fall in love with the beloved ones, it is lifetime. This is not like the love affairs of today's life. You fall in love today, a few months, and then you find another one. Falling in love with life, falling in love with the beloved, is eternal. Now, interesting, very interesting. So, but this is something so important. If you understand, your life changes altogether. It's a new life. When you get married to the beloved, it's so beautiful. You see? One day, do it. Find the day this month. If you are too busy. If you are not too busy, tomorrow do it. Start with this day, one single day, and live it like your last day, really. Last day. Only single day. Like really you will die tomorrow for that. So only one day you are here. It's like opening your eyes today for the first time to life. And you are told you have one single day. How would you live? Would you let all your ambitions for power, money, your jealousies enter into this day? Your comparison, yourself, comparing yourself with another, the desire to be famous, the desire to be rich. Or you look at the beauty of the world, enjoy, watch, right? Which one would you do if it was your last day? One single day to do? Which one? Take care. So, now you have this day, one single day. If you really can do it, destroy all the past. Really. I say, I'll live this day. And one day I won't have this past entering into this present moment. This day. One single day. I'll destroy all the memories, all the hurts, all my angers, hatreds, everything. For one single day. I will not let them enter into this present moment, into this day. So I have this one day, one single day, with no past, no past, psychological past, nothing. And I am here with this single one day. It's very interesting if you do it, and I suggest, try it, do it. Once a month, start with it. But you really must do it, really. Don't play with it. Really destroy the past. That means you destroy future too. You have one single day, live one single day. Once, as I said, the mind really can do it, then your love story with the beloved, with life, will begin. That's the love story beginning. In fact, the day of marriage, like Rumi says, Rumi, you must have heard Rumi, the great poet, right? Probably a beautiful man. He said, the day I die is the day I get married to be loved. Now, most probably, he might mean the physical death, that's another thing, but what he means more is this love story starts, you fall in love, and there is a day you get married. With this kind of meditation, you start the love story. You begin to fall in love. Because your heart, something is changing in your heart. You are entering into the timelessness of the present moment. So the story begins. And in the way Rumi says, the death. Because the story begins means your ego is being weakened now. Because now you learn this thing. Today you are living timeless, which means ego doesn't exist. But tomorrow you will come back to your business and all stress and all those things. But you are touched with this love. Story began. And you will go further and further. There will be a day, as Rumi points out, the day you will get married is the day you die. In the sense, the ego totally collapse. Is the marriage, is what you might call an enlightenment, in quotes. Right? It's very interesting. And one life. The enlightenment is, now we explain, we came down to one moment, one day, like last day, then you will go further and further into deeper ocean, into the one moment. That is really where the spiritual depth, unfathomable, immeasurable depth of the unknown begins. The moment, you see, we were talking about one day, not tomorrow or yesterday. Think of yourself coming to a moment. No next moment, no past moment. Which means it's like, this is my last moment. Which means I'm ready to leave this world after I finish this video. Do you understand? Get prepared. Live like a guest. Get prepared to die anytime. Inwardly prepared. Which means don't gather anything inwardly. I have this. I own this. Let's say I have a car. I have a house. Gathering things, needs, outwardly is a different thing from owning them inwardly. Saying mine. The body on the paper owns certain things. A house, a car, whatever. But the mind doesn't. If there is no ego to own things, then the body just uses those things to function. You understand this? It's very important. Now, so, be prepared. That's important. Always ready. Like I sometimes give the example of the gangster, only in this sense. Of course, gangsters, spiritual thing, but gangsters, if they really have serious enemies, you must be prepared, It can be any time. So, don't gather anything inwardly. Abandon things immediately. Abandon the self, constant. Be aware. This means extreme watchfulness. Oh, I was given a beautiful present today. Right? Something expensive, whatever. It's mine, I get attached to this thing. You see, already, I am taking roots. But living like it's your last day already means, at the core of it, is like living like a guest in this world. This is very important to understand. Same thing. Come to this world one day. You're a guest. You can't say, I'll be rich, successful, I'll have all these houses, I'll be a wealthy person, all those kind of stuff. You're a guest. Live like a guest, no roots. Enjoy. But when you have 80 years, 90 years, you think you have so much time to take roots. But look from the infinity point of view, you don't have any time. It's like Buddha said, the problem is you think you have time. You don't have time. We are here. It doesn't matter 80, 90, even 900 years. Even if you can live 1,000 years, you are a guest. Once you forget that fact, then the problem begins. Forgetting that fact means I want to own things. I want to have this house, this wife, and all, take roots in this world. You are trying to do the impossible. We are sent to this world as a guest. It's like we are go to a house as a guest, and then all of a sudden the desire arises to own the house, to take the root. They say you kick you off, which means the day you die is being kicked off. Don't forget this. This is important. Live like a guest. There's great fun. You have so much energy if you live like a guest in this world, you know? Because then you're not attached to anything. But then that is freedom. The moment you lose this quality of living like a guest, then you are not free anymore, then you are chained. Those routes you are taking, once the feeling of being guest finished, which means you want to take roots, then those roots are the roots of the ego and the beginning of the inward prison. You see, this is important. So living like a guest, living like it is your last day, is the same thing. When it is really my last day today, I am like a guest. If I really feel it, I'm like a guest. I enjoy things. It's beautiful life. And so, the ultimate, the enlightenment, in quotes, is the one moment. In that one moment, no next moment, no past moment, this is moment. But it's immeasurable. It's not 1 second. No, we're not talking about 1 second. Neither 1/10, 1/100th of a second. It's immeasurable. This moment, in terms of mathematics, is immeasurable. Timeless. No time. No 1 second. Nothing. Therefore, it contains all time. And the deeper and deeper, deeper, deeper you go into this moment, in this way, one moment, basically, as Rumi says again, you get drunk. It's falling in love with the beloved, with life, with getting drunk. And there are certain moments where the ego, in this going deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper, deeper in the moment. I'm talking not one day now. We came to the one moment, going deeper and deeper, 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 deeper. There is a moment, but you don't know if the ego is gone because there's constant moment, next moment, next moment, no past moment. There is a certain point where ego collapses. That moment of no ego, is total living in the present moment. And because there is no ego, no past looking at the present, then everything is new, fresh. It's like you are looking at things for the first time. And that's what it means to fall in love. You're falling in love with life, not the things of life, but life itself. This is important to understand. Not the Ferrari, not the beautiful house I'm falling in love. I'm falling in love with life as a whole, with life itself. Not the eyes of the beloved, right? Not the hair of the beloved, but beloved as a whole. The problem is, also in normal life, if, let's say you love a woman, if certain parts of the body of that woman becomes most important to you, then love is destroyed. You know what I mean? In the same way, if we don't love life as a whole, but get attached to certain things of that thing, life, which is a beautiful house, a beautiful car, this, that, whatever it is, anything, if we only choose certain things in that life and say I'm in love with those things, then we are not in love with life as a whole. But the only true love, the only true spiritual quality of love is to be in love with life as a whole. And then you can enjoy the parts. You can enjoy driving a car, or you can enjoy the sunset, anything. But it's like to love a woman as a whole. The woman, certain parts of that woman, or certain parts of the body of that woman, becomes the most important. That moment is the ending of love. Same thing, the love of life. Therefore, if I live like a guest, one day, one moment, then where is my car? I don't even remember. It's now, here, I look. I have a beautiful laptop here, nice clothes, healthy body. I'm here for the moment, for a day. So it's so beautiful, everything. It's very interesting. That is what it means to love life. But once I finish this video, I go, oh, the beautiful car. I go around and drive this car. It's like a child, 5, 6, 7 years, I remember myself, the computer game. See, but it's so beautiful. You get this, even the computer game is so beautiful. And you have the real thing. So why don't we love? We never question these things. Same thing like, it's a fantasy thing. Think of it like coming to this world as a guest. Like there is another planet or another place where this earth is created as a plaything, like a computer game. And people are waiting in the line to go into this world, to play. Think of it like this. Like you came to this world like this, but when the time comes in, and forget that we are in as a guest playing in this computer game. It's not a computer game, but I say the concept is like that. You come to this world to enjoy, basically, not to get attached. You live in this world. So if you remember this thing, if I take you away to this other planet where there is darkness and others, and then you say, I want to come back, I want to play this again. But once we are here, this nightmare. Why? Ask this question. Why? Why is it a nightmare? If let's say there are other creatures in the universe, or if you show these things here in this world, they say, my God, the marvelous place, let's go and live, play. The rivers, the sea, the woman. Beautiful. Sorry. That's true. And you see, why? Why don't we really love this? Like a child, give it a computer game, they love to play. Why? And why don't we love the real thing? It's so beautiful at this time of the universe unknown. Where did this originate? Nobody knows, but we are here to live. That is what we should be concerned. We don't need to know the reasons. Not ask too many questions, neither too many answers. Just live. You are here. Don't try to understand why. You are here. You ended up here with beautiful body. Hopefully you have. You see, even people with health problems sometimes They are happy. And when we have this beautiful body, healthy body, we can't be happy. Priceless, this body. Billions of dollars cannot give you this body. Cannot. One teeth, go and change it, and you'll see how expensive. It's one teeth, and it's not like the original. Such a beautiful thing. The love of life. And I wish there was a woman who really loved life. It's very interesting. I would like to talk in the sense. I know, I enjoy talking to a woman. It's such a beautiful thing. Just a thought. Also men too, but men are so, how can I say, they are much more corrupt. Women still have this quality a little bit, or they are getting corrupt too, but anyway, that's a different subject. So, come back. Live life this way. Like you came as a guest. You're given this like a plaything. Enjoy. It's like this is the key. You can only enjoy in that sense. Fall in love as a whole. Play with it like a child. In this universe, at this moment, that's what I was saying, I'm lost again. In this universe, in this moment, in this unknown place, you are going now, I'll go for a drive with a car. It's such an incredible thing. But this thing, you do it every day, it means nothing to you. On the contrary, you're stressed. That car doesn't mean it. That car is such a beautiful thing in this universe. You're driving that car. Jesus Christ. Right? Alright, this is probably the longest video I've ever made. But I think it's worth it. It was nice, to be honest. And I all spontaneous. I don't think about these things. Only I think about the subject in the morning. You know? And today, certain days I have higher energy. Today I woke up with this high energy. And just the subject came and I just start the video. And things come. I don't think. It's all spontaneous. It's almost 1 hour, 57 minutes. Okay. See you soon again.